Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of Tech Niche Tips. It's early in the morning on this Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh man, what a morning! What a morning it has been. I know that it's probably like, wait a second, I didn't know you were going to go live today because I didn't do any announcements. Well, the matter of fact, I didn't do an announcement because I was working on a couple of things, making sure the guests can make it, but for good reasons. I'm going to say this for good reasons. The guests that I had today could not make it. And when they come on, I will let you know. What up, Jackie? Jackie, Nurse Jackie. I'm so glad to hear and see you. I'm so glad to hear and see you. What up, Scott? What up, Scott? Jackie, it's been a long time. We got to reconnect. I really want to know where you're at, what's going on with you. I really sincerely want to know. So I need to know, as the song says, right? So, but yeah, man, it's a rough day for me. I didn't get my hair cut or anything, so I'm just like, I'm trying to, yes, yeah, we absolutely do. I'm trying to make do about this. So, I'm gonna just kind of, I want to go as people are coming on and people are shouting out where you're from as well. Of course, we could do a roll call, find out where you're from. Go ahead and put that in the chat. Now I know where you're from, Scott. So go ahead if you want to put it down for those that don't know. So today's going to be a very unique show. There's a couple of things that we are going to do today that are a little bit different. Like I said, I did have a guest that I was going to bring on. We were kind of trying to wait whether or not they should come on for personal reasons that if they come on, I'll let them say. I won't necessarily say, but for good reasons, excuse me, but for good reasons, they are not here today. I'm going to say that for now. And I'm going to take this opportunity because I realized that looking at the time that I started doing the channel and started actually working in tech, this will be literally almost to the day. It's getting close to it, but this will be a year that I have been working in the tech industry, specifically as an SDR. I have some news to announce with that as well. Good morning, Mitch. Good morning. The faithful are here. The faithful are here. So thank you so much for everybody tuning in. I do definitely appreciate it for sure. We're going to dive into some things, but I can't be numb or inconsiderate about things that are going on in the world as well. And with that being said, unfortunately, and it's very unfortunate, there were certain things that happened this past week in other parts of the world where children, men and women, uh, lost their lives, and and I'm not gonna lie and say I know all the details to the situation that happened in the Middle East. There, I'm not gonna assume or say that I do, but I think it's important that as a community, especially with somebody that, no matter what kind of platform you may have, that it's important to acknowledge these things and to say the truth, which is the truth for me is my thoughts and my prayers are with those that have lost during the conflict that is happening right now, the terrorist attack, everything that has occurred this past weekend. And what's so very interesting is sometimes, and I'm going to be transparent, sometimes when we live away from the conflicts, that it doesn't feel like it hits home for us. But I was scrolling to LinkedIn, and there were people that LinkedIn professionals that actually knew somebody, whether it was a coworker or a family member or a friend or an acquaintance, they knew somebody that was affected by this. I actually scrolled in and saw somebody that literally their coworker was lost because of what happened. And so I think it's an important thing for us not to be so in our bubble that we don't acknowledge these things that are happening in other parts of the world, right? So I just want to say thoughts and prayers for everybody that is suffering or affected by what's going on right now with the conflict, with the war, with the terrorist attack, everything that's happening. My thoughts and prayers personally are with you right now, sincerely. With that being said, I just wanted to make sure I said that first and foremost. Today, again, it's going to be a different day. For those that are on LinkedIn, thank you for always rocking with me, but this is going to be a little bit different today. I'm not going to spend all my time streaming to both platforms. I'm actually starting here on LinkedIn and YouTube, but for the conversation I'm going to have about my 1 year review of just being in tech, course careers, all that good stuff, y'all are going to have to, and I say this in love, y'all gonna have to come over to the YouTube channel. so, so I'm gonna basically, I'm gonna give some announcements. We're gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna need y'all to come over to youtube.com/at Tech Niche Tips to catch the rest of the live. Because what I'm going to actually do, which I am very happy about, is I'm going to actually allow people to call in. You don't have to necessarily be on the screen, but you can call in if you have any questions that I can answer. And I'm basically going to allow you to call in so that way you can, join the show. And that doesn't really happen on LinkedIn. I mean, it could have on LinkedIn, but there's some things I want people to be free to talk. Sometimes you can't be free to talk on LinkedIn as much as you can be on other platforms. So I want you to come on freely to talk, ask questions about, again, 1 year being, in tech. I'm going to talk about course careers. I'm going to talk about how impactful it was to my journey. And that's all going to be happening in a few. So definitely you want to make sure that you are in there. Scott said it. I'm going to put it here. So get the likes and the shares up for my brother. I appreciate that. I mean, I don't really ask for much. I never said, all I ask for you is to listen to these stories. And if you like, comment, and share, describe, it's up to you. You're grown. But I do appreciate that because it allows this to resonate. So thank you so much. Oh man, thank you, Jackie, as well. I'm so proud of Joseph and congrats to you 1 year. Yeah, thank you so much. I think it's gonna be a year, technically, when I signed the offer. I think it was my son was born October the 18th. So it technically is gonna be close to about 2 weeks is gonna be a year. But I'm like, why wait? Why wait? We can get talking about this right now. So that's the thing, bro. It can hit home at any time. Gotta stay ready. Yeah, gotta get ready. Many blessings to all those who have lost someone. Absolutely, we have to be. We're a community. We're a global community. So absolutely appreciate that. What up, Seven the gentleman? Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much. So I'm actually gonna put it on YouTube right now. Call in link, so that way everybody can see the call in link. Because we're gonna have fun today. Like I said, my guests couldn't make it for good reasons, and when they are available and ready to share those good reasons why they couldn't make it, I'll let them share it, but I'm not going to burst their bubble. But so for those that are on YouTube, I'll put it right here so you can see there's going to be a call in link. If you click that link, you're going to pop up on the screen, but nobody's going to see you the way I have it right now structured. They're just going to hear your voice, but nobody's going to necessarily see you. It's going to be like a call in show, and we're going to talk about my journey for being in 1 year in the tech industry and how CourseCareers played a pivotal part in that. Before I get into that, though, another thing I want to announce before I actually drop off of LinkedIn, eventually, is that don't forget, y'all. I don't know if you guys if you guys are podcast listeners, but these episodes are also available on podcast. Now, like I said, I am uploading the older episodes, but remember, there's a lot of interviews, there's a lot of conversations that have been had, and so I don't want you to miss anything. So I'm taking my time. I'm trying to do it on a weekly basis. I got a lot of things going on, but that I just want you to know you can definitely listen to this on a podcast form. So go ahead, go to Apple, Spotify, or Amazon, wherever it is, and just look up Tech Niche Tips, right? You want to look up Tech Niche Tips, just like how it is here at the bottom of my name. Host and founder of Tech Niche Tips, Tech, TECHNICHE tips. And when you look that up, it will pop up. So you could definitely start to download. And that's another way you can support. Share with those that do watch podcasts and say, hey, are you interested in learning more about different roles in tech and different people and da 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 da? Boom, put it right there for them because we want to just spread the word. So I appreciate y'all, family. And that's what I'm going to say right now. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with me for this past couple of months. It hasn't even been a year that I've been doing this on YouTube, but the love, the people that we've been able to help. Sorry, I'm from New York. I talk a little fast. I'm from New York. I'm from the Caribbean. I need to slow down. So I'm going to say like this. Thank you for all the people that have taken the time to like, comment, share, reach out to me, DM me. I try to be a resource. I try to the best of my ability, offer time to people and to help and to share wherever I can. I'm not an expert, but it's like they say, silver and gold have I none, but what I have, I'll give unto you. So that's kind of the way I approach it. And you guys have been rocking with me. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate what you guys are doing. And if it's in your heart to like, comment, subscribe, send a super chat, do all those different things, then I appreciate that. You do not have to do those things, but I appreciate you when you do. So I just want to say that. And then without further ado, let me get right into it because I've been talking enough. All right. So 1 year. Last year at this particular time, I was working in solar sales, right? I was working in solar sales for a solar company here in New Jersey, pretty big company here in New Jersey. I was working on the phones, talking about being in the call center, grinding. At this particular time, my wife and I, we live in New Jersey. We have 5 kids, right? Ranging from at that time 14 or 15 years old, all the way down to I would say a 1.5, 1 year old, right? So we have this is a lot what we have on our plate going forward. Just to kind of give you my mindset of where I'm at. I was working in that industry. The industry was cool, but I felt like there was more. I felt like I was developing a great skill set being on the phones. And when I talk about being on phones, y'all, when I first started with this company, man, I was dialing probably 200 to 250 times a day. B2C. This is in the trenches, y'all. This is people cursing you out. This is all sorts of stuff that you're getting hit with. Like there was music blasting like it was the Wolf of Wall Street. Oh, what up, what up, what up? I gotta stop. What up, my bro? Tech Bag Trays in the building. If y'all don't know, we got a morning show. I forgot to even plug that. My fault. We have a morning show every Monday morning, and we're gonna be doing that, right? We have a morning show. Oh, let me almost forgot something. This is yeah, 250 day. Yeah, I'm about to get back to the story. But if y'all were on last week, Kanika Tulver, she's coming back next week by popular demand. Kanika was so good. The people you guys wanted to see her again. She opened up her calendar to come sooner than later. So she's coming back next week. So I wanted to make sure you knew that in case you missed anything. She's coming back for a part 2, and she's going to be talking about branding this time, personal branding. So you definitely want to be there for that. One more thing I wanted to say: we're going to have a new time for this show. It's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Not trying to do it too close to 12 because we know it's football season, so I don't want to compete with that. But yeah. So right now we're going to do 11 a.m. To 12. We're going to switch it up because I want to give a little bit more people more time as they're waking up. They had a long night before on Friday, so I want to make sure that give them enough time to come in to watch the show. So we're moving into 11 a.m. Okay, back to what I was saying. All right, yes, the Gem Assassin will be returning. That's right. That's right. But yes, back to what I was saying. So I was doing like $200 to $250 B2C, grinding on the phones. It was like the Wolf of Wall Street because they were blasting music everywhere, like hip hop music. Like this is the office, but they kind of treated it was kind of like a club in a way. It was wild. Managers running around in hoverboards like, come on, dial, dial, dial. It was that type of environment. It was a grind environment. So I started there, moved to a different part of the department where we were really on the phone, confirming, verifying information, which I'm going to talk about later and what CourseCareers helped me to learn about that. So we're on the phones verifying information. Now our quota or our KPI is like around 120 for calls a day, right? 120. So it went from 200 to 250 when I was in the trenches, being a dialer, being a setter, to kind of a little bit less, but still doing the same thing, but on a higher level. And then finally, after like going closer to 3 years working in that industry, moving to what is considered like the inside, like a scheduler. So I'm sending out reps. Now I'm doing different things like that for different territories. So I had different territories that I was responsible for, and I was basically working and bringing that out. All that to say, excuse me. All that to say that sometimes we don't know what our life is preparing us for. If you're in a call center right now and you have to sell stuff, and you're like, man, this is not a high valued, this is not a high valued sort of thing that I'm doing. Listen, y'all, that transferable skill will really help you when you get into tech sales, specifically being an SDR, BDR, right? So anyway, that's my story. about what I did before tech sales. So I get in there and literally, and I'm trying to give you the whole picture before I, talk about the year. And literally, I see the interview with Cyrus Harbin and Anthony O'Neill. I said, this seems like something that I could do. I binge watch everything on Cyrus's page. I binge watch other people as well. And I'm going through all these people that are tech sales professionals, whether they are SCs, SDRs, BDRs, account executives. I'm watching this material. Trent Dressel was one of the people that I watched as well. And I said, okay, I could do this. This is something I could do. And so I decided to go ahead and I signed up for CourseCareers. And I had a fire underneath me because I made a promise to my wife when we first got married. I said, I don't want you to work. I want you to be able to stay home and da. And that never that never happened. Unfortunately, I was without getting too in the nitty gritties, I was young when I got married, but I made all these promises and I didn't have an avenue to really kind of see it through. But tech sales was like the thing that I thought could happen. So I decided to go ahead and push and grind. And in that month, I decided to basically, whenever I was, just to give you context, I literally was home working on the phones while I was watching two of our youngest kids just to kind of cover the cost of childcare. And so I thank that company because they allowed me to do that. My manager, Dina, shout out to you. You were one of the best managers I had. She literally was so supportive of me, and they really were supportive of me to allow me to do that while while I was working. And I think having that commitment of making sure my family's good and working pushed me so that I performed I performed pretty well, even though I had those circumstances. But with CourseCareers, I was going through the material. I was reading the material while I was putting the kids to nap. And then I'm listening to it while I'm driving. Like the tenacity that I had in that season was so huge. And so when I finished CourseCareers, I realized something, that all that information that I was gathering, all the skills that I was developing while I was in the call center, I was able to use those transferable skills in this industry. And now I was able to give language to the things that I was already doing. And so that was a powerful thing. And I want to just pause and say, if you were in that situation, what you probably just need to do is find where you need to go, what skills you can lend, and really just put in the work to find a way to transfer those skills, because you will find out that you will shine where you are. So anyway, finish the course in 30 days. Then while I'm interviewing, my wife is due for our sixth child. Remember, this is something that I don't know if I said this already, but this is the reason why I was pushing so hard, because our sixth child was due. So she's pretty much ready to be done for that. And all of a sudden, like, I have an interview with the company. My wife's like, the baby's here. And I'm like, okay, let's go to the hospital. And no, it went from the baby. I think the baby's coming to like TikTok. Things got crazy. Like literally, we're driving and we hit traffic, and she's screaming. And y'all, if y'all nurses, if y'all have given birth before, y'all know, like, contractions 5 minutes apart. It got real. Um, 7 minutes before we got to the emergency room, she's like, my water broke. And I'm like, dang, we're not there yet. So I'm speed up a little bit more. And then, like 3 minutes before we got to the emergency room, she's like, the baby's here. And I hear, we're in the minivan driving. We're not there yet, family. We're not there at the emergency room yet. And literally, she's like, what? And I'm like, oh, man, this is crazy. Baby comes in the car. But I feel like I told the story before, so I'm going to speed up this part. But eventually, what happened is a couple weeks later, I got the job. I'm in working in tech sales, right? I'm being an SDR. I'm being trained, and then I'm understanding that a lot of things I learned in CourseCareers were really the things that I really needed to have. So I'm basically, in the beginning, I get my accounts, I get all the information. I'm not going to talk about certain things because it is a public traded company, but just, you could look at my LinkedIn and you can see what it is. Anyway, I got there, and then by the grace of God, those same skills lend itself to what I was doing. Of course, I had to learn new training and things of that nature, but by me being there for the first month, I was able to hit quota. And I was like, oh, that's cool, praise God. But then as I keep on going, every month after that, I was hitting quota. And what that resulted in me doing was, for the first 7 months of me working as an SDR, I hit quota pretty much until I went on paternity leave, because I did not take paternity leave in the beginning. I took it later on because my wife was taking paternity leave. She's taking time off. So I wanted to make sure she was good. And I learned a lot in that time. It was a different type of grind. It wasn't 120 calls, it was 45. And it was different in the sense that I had time that I could use and allocate for other stuff. Like I'm working, right? I'm emailing, I'm doing all the stuff that I should be doing, but it's not like I have to, it's not like I had to stay in one place stationary. I could take care of my kids or I could go to shopping or whatever the case may be. So it was cool. And so I went on paternity leave, and then I basically was able to, take some time with the family, which again is a great benefit working in the tech industry, depending on the benefit package. Like I literally was able to do that. And then boom, I took some time off, came back, and then I saw myself struggling a little bit. And then when I say struggling, it wasn't because I couldn't do the work, but it reminded me of a lesson in which you need to keep your sales pipeline full, right? And it's hard to do that if you take a month off to do that. So I had to build that up again. So for the first time, I missed quota for the half month that I came back, and for the month after that. So this is like month eight or nine that we're at right now, nine and 10. I would say we're month 10 right now. But I was able to get quota after kind of coming back for a month and a half. I got quota again, and then I split up my paternity leave, so I went back, and then I came in later on, and I was able to complete my paternity leave. So that's like around November, and I was able to get back on quota, and it was good. And then I actually exceeded quota this time around, and I didn't announce it yet, but I'll announce it here first that I just got promoted to senior SDR for my company. So that was pretty cool. And I wanted to give that overview. We're going to go into the nitty-gritty. I can't speak right now. I'm tired. We're going to go into the gritty details on the Q&A part on YouTube. So if you're on LinkedIn, y'all, like I said earlier, we're going to have a Q&A part that we're going to talk about. But on a nutshell, that has basically been the year. But I'm going to talk about other details a little bit later on, about the things that I've learned. And what I learned is that, one, you got to be organized. And I'm going to start with that first, because the way you organize your accounts, the way you approach your accounts, your sales cadence, all the different touches that you plan to do, there has to be some order to it, because otherwise you're basically poking in the dark. You're basically poking in the dark. And so, that is, oh yeah, thank you, bro. Yes, man. Congrats. AE's coming soon. Thank you very much. And we're gonna talk about that too. We're gonna talk about too on YouTube. I'm gonna switch over to YouTube when we talk about that. But yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate that for sure, But I want to just give a couple of takeaways, and then I'm gonna do Q&A on YouTube. So again, I'm gonna leave this banner here so you know where to go when I'm shutting off LinkedIn. LinkedIn family, you know where to go. YouTube right here. We're gonna have fun talking over there and calling in and things of that nature. But a couple of things that I learned being in the industry for a year now is that, one, you got to be organized. If you're not organized, it's going to affect you. And that's the way you not only organize your schedule, but organize the way you attack the work, organize how you people map, finding the right POC, the right buyer persona that we learned in CourseCareers. All of that plays a huge role in your success. It's being organized, one, being curious, two. So curiosity would make you look at a website and say, okay, what are their pain points? Curiosity make them look at their Google reviews and say, man, what are the customers saying? Curiosity would make you look at their LinkedIn account and say, what are their interests? And so now you're thinking like a CEO, a business manager, who's managing these accounts, and you're really curious about your prospects' needs. And that helps when you get into the discovery calls. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it could be a daunting task to get into and do discovery. Like, what questions do you ask? And there are definitely books that talk about that. Gap Selling by Keenan, that's a great book. I would definitely recommend that. And there's other books as well that really kind of help you in regards to kind of finding what to say when you get into those discovery conversations. But curiosity really does help as well, because you're like, wait, if you said this works this way, then what does that mean for over here? Da, da, da. And you're able to ask really intelligent questions when you actually are listening and paying attention. One of the reasons why I started this channel. So yeah, organized, curiosity, and consistency. Though I'll just say there's so much more I could say, but those are the three things right there. Being consistent to me is more important than exceeding quota one month and then missing quota the next. But if I can meet quota, if my goal is to meet, I want to exceed quota, of course. That's my goal, to always exceed, right? But if I can at least meet quota consistently, then the organization will learn to trust me more with more. And then that's when those opportunities will come. What up? What up? What up? Paris is in the house. The sister's in the house, and we're gonna talk. We're definitely gonna talk. If you want to join on the YouTube side, and we could, I mean, if you want to join on the live call, you could definitely jump on that. All right, but yeah, so those are the three things I would say right there: is curiosity, being organized, being consistent, right, and being curious, right. And I think that if you have the organization, if you have and you're really organized, then you're going to be confident when you come on these calls and you talk to people. And that's how my confidence was, because I knew about the product. I knew what we can do. We can help you increase revenue by 50% for your practice. We can help you by actually minimizing the work that your staff have to do. In fact, if you're available, let's talk about it more, right? And one of the things also I'm going to add to this, and we're going to probably talk more about this in the Q&A portion. So jump on the YouTube if you're not there. Move from LinkedIn to YouTube, because I don't want you to miss on this Q&A if you're on LinkedIn. But one of the things that I really wanted to also mention is that, in regards to being consistent, in regards to being curious and things of that nature, is there are there are things that you want to also really really avoid, and that is just being complacent. Like, being complacent where you might have a couple of good months and then you stop doing that work, man, it will affect you in a terrible way. So you get a lot of leeway, you get a lot of flexibility, but you got to work hard. This is a profession, this is a job, this is a career for some. For me, I feel myself as a sales is my career. I like sales. I like the hunt. I like to have conversations with people. I like to put people at ease when they're talking to me. And one of the things about being in this particular industry that was different in solar is that with solar, it's kind of like, man, I'm trying to get this customer, I'm trying to get this customer. But being in tech sales, you're really a consultant. You really want to make sure this is a mutually beneficial relationship. And that's one of the things that I've learned about being in this industry that I think would really kind of help somebody who's thinking about it. If you are thinking about tech sales, if you are thinking about getting into it more, whether it's, you are SDR, and or you're somebody that has been in sales for forever, and you're trying to transition into being an AE and coming right into this industry because you have closing experience, connect with me. I may not know all the things that I may not know everything, but I could definitely try to connect you to the right people if I don't know it, and I'll try to be a resource to you the best that I can. So with that being said, we're coming up to that 30-minute mark. Remember, next week, LinkedIn family, we're going to be moving the time not to 10 a.m. but to 11. We're going to be on 11 a.m. Kanika Tulliver, the Gem Assassin, is coming back, so you want to stay tuned for that. And with that being said, if you were not on YouTube right now, if you're just on LinkedIn, I'm going to lose you, but come on to the YouTube side and we're going to keep the game rolling. We keep the ball rolling. Okay. So those on YouTube, stay with me. But LinkedIn family, I hope to see you on the YouTube side. See you soon. All right. So let's move on with YouTube. YouTube, y'all. Love y'all. Love y'all people. Love everybody here. We're going to do the live call in, right? Like I said, let me see if I could put this up for you again. But if you want to call into the show, this is the time we're going to do Q&A. I'm going to go through the comments real quickly to kind of see where everybody's at. Everybody's having a good time talking. Like, he's like, what up, Mitch? Yeah, man. A solar frat house. That's hilarious. It had that feeling, man. Wolf of Wall Street. It was like people literally, we were on the phones and people are like, where are you working? Like they're hearing Nipsey in the background. They're hearing all sorts of stuff while we're dialing and saying, would you like to go with solar? And they're like, what? Can you turn down the music? It was crazy, but we got bookings through it. Trey said, got to have something to go for bigger than yourself to get to the place you're trying to get to. Big facts, bro. Big facts. The guy makes move. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. And I know Trey, you said that congratulations earlier. Appreciate that. Scott, you said, hey, yeah, bro, congrats. AE coming soon. AE coming soon. That's right. That's my goal. That's my goal. Let me put it in the chat. Call in link here. So if you're on YouTube, go ahead. You can use that link to call in, and we could definitely talk about it more. But yeah, YouTube side, I'm going to talk a little bit more. I'm not trying to. I have to be careful because it is a publicly traded company, so there's certain things I cannot talk about. But there's things that the things that we can have on the website, we could definitely talk about that, of course. Um, if anybody has a question about Salesforce or a question about organizing tasks or organizing things like how do I go about it, that's what we could cover as well. So let me know, y'all, what you want to talk about. This is the Q&A portion of the conversation, and I'm going to actually put that up so everybody knows that we're doing Q&A right now. Let me change that. Q&A. And this is just I'm going to try my best to answer any questions that y'all have. So it said, bro, on a call with grinding all my life in the literally, literally, that's how it would be. It would be Tupac, Big, it'd be whatever you could think of, hardcore hip hop, and then, and we're making calls, and literally you would be like, grind out my life, sacrifice. I can't remember what song they used to love, but there was a song that they really loved in that office, and I was just like, I gotta make it go. But listen, I'm thankful for that place. That place kept me employed during the pandemic, man. That the leadership of that company, they really understood their name. I won't, you can go to my LinkedIn and see their name, but they really understood their name because they pushed and pushed, and they kept us employed during the pandemic. And I will never, even I could never really speak bad things about that particular company because they kept us employed during the pandemic when people when the other companies in the industry were falling like flies. They kept us employed, and they actually grew. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, it's like a party up in here. Y'all like, what up, y'all? All right. So any questions, y'all? I mean, and in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start talking about it. And if you have any questions, I'm not going to be here forever. I'm going to be here probably till at least 10:45, and there's no questions or nobody wants to call in. Uh, but I want to talk more detail. So, in regards to what I did in work, my day to day, and I'm gonna talk about my day to day. My day to day looked like this. I would wake up in the morning, and I would, either go for a walk, or I would basically kind of, especially if I'm running late, I would run to my computer, and first thing I'm doing is I'm looking at my calendar. I'm looking at what meetings do I have that day, checking to see if there's any overviews that I have, checking to see if there's anything specific in regards to demos that I have to that I'm basically taking notes for. And my company is unique in the sense that when we do OVs, we're doing it a collaborative OV with our account executive, which is a good technique because now you not only do some discovery, but you're learning from somebody about what it is, what it takes to do discovery to help to land and move that overview, we call it overview, to a demo. And the beautiful thing about that is also if they show up to that overview and they get moved to demo, it's considered a qualified lead and a qualified lead. So you're able to qualify appointments a lot faster versus getting them on a discovery call, then getting them in a meeting with the account executive and the SE, the sales engineer. So that was that, and the quota is, believe it or not, a lot difficult. I mean, not as difficult as it was on the solar side. So my KPIs, 125 calls or 120 calls to be good. When I was really on the phones, when I was really in the trenches, it was 200, 250. So that you would be good doing that. But on the on the excuse me, on the tech side, it was really 45 minutes. 45 minutes. I'm tired. 45 calls, right? That you had to make, get to send out about 20 emails, do about probably 6 voicemails. And one of the things that really kind of helped me be organized was putting things in task on Salesforce and organizing my day by kind of like, okay, I'm going to attack these accounts today. I'm going to organize them in regards to time zones. I'm going to basically hit them in different ways. I'm going to call them in the morning, and if they don't pick up, I might leave a voicemail. or I'll call them in the morning, not leave a voicemail, but in a couple of hours, I'm going to send an email and then I'm going to call them and then I'm going to leave a voicemail saying that I left an email. Check out the email. My number is XYZ, right? And so by being strategic about the approaches, by attacking accounts multiple times, I was able to then really make an impact in regards to just, you know, being able to hit accounts. And that's an illusion. I think that if you're SDR BDR, you think that maybe if I just call this person one time, that they probably heard or know that I called them, so they probably are ignoring me. Most of the times they're so busy they don't even know that you called. So making multiple touches in a day, whether it's also including LinkedIn as well in regards to the outreach, that's an important thing. By making multiple touches in a day, you're allowing yourself more opportunities at bat to make sure that they actually have heard or even saw something that came from you. They're looking at the email, right? So I would do that, and I found success doing that by creating tasks in Salesforce and by organizing the way that I approach these accounts. Now, uh, one one time ain't enough. Yeah, one time ain't enough. One time ain't enough, and it's also there's some cheat codes in there, and if you want to hear the if you want to hear one of the couple of the cheat codes, put cheat codes in the comments. Let me see the likes go up a little bit more. If you want to hear a couple of cheat codes that I have when it comes to the outreaches that I do, I want to see if you want to hear some of the cheat codes. Just type in cheat code. Um, but yeah, you're absolutely right, Trey. One time ain't enough. One time ain't enough. Definitely need that there. Chico, so Mr. Chico's. After that, I'm gonna bring on Brother Scott again. Brother Scott, you don't have to worry about being seen. This is just a call in. But one of the cheat codes that I have, a couple of cheat codes I have in outreach. One of them is I learned from one of the managers in my company is if you're trying to reach a prospect, and I see Mitch put it here, so I'm going to respond. If you're trying to reach a prospect, and this is actually good if you're trying to find a job too. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you find who your POC is, the person that you're trying to point of contact, but then you look and try to find whoever is above them, and you look to see who is there, the manager, whatever. You CC that person in the email. So you send it to your POC, but you CC that person in the email. They are more likely than not going to open up that email because they know they are accountable to this person that is above them to actually do their due diligence. That is one of the things that you can use on an email, but also when you can use that in your calls as well, where you basically, if you had a conversation with somebody that's older over them, and they say, hey, I'm kind of busy, talk to this person. Boom, you're like, thank you so much for giving me that. I now come to you and like, listen, I just had a conversation with your boss, your manager. They said you're the right person to talk to. uh, this is da, and they will listen to you, and they probably even take that meeting because they have to. They have to consider doing their due diligence, because what if their manager comes back to them and says, hey, did you follow up with X, Y, and Z? Did you actually do that? Then they're going to be accountable to that. They're going to be accountable to that. And I think that having that kind of like detective mindset, like, okay, I'm going to find out who you are. I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to go look around. I'm going to even go to Facebook. I'm going to check the Google reviews. Google reviews are powerful. If you have a solution to that problem and you basically can go to Google and look at the reviews and say, you know what, this customer complained about an issue that our company can solve. You take a snapshot of that and you can say, hey, I really looked at your Google reviews. They're all great, but except this one. And I wanted to draw it to your attention. Boom, put that screenshot in there and you say, you know what, I'm this is out the blue. But I think that you having this problem is something that we can solve. Do you have about 15 to 20 minutes to do it? If you are SDR and you do not have a tech stack that allows you to put a scheduler in your email, and when I mean a scheduler, not just a link to click on them for them to choose, but something that has buttons that can allow them to pick a specific day and time, try to get your organization to do that, because that right there is a game changer. I can't remember how many people I was able to reschedule because I included a scheduler with times and dates. It would literally say this day, and it would give a list of the times. I can't remember how many people I was able to reschedule by doing that. So definitely do that on the email. I might stop the cheat codes though because I got Scott here. I'm a little late to the party, but I'm here. Good morning, family. What's up? What's up, Tech Jobs? We're doing Q&A. It's one year review. I'm talking about the little stuff that I learned while being in tech sales for a year. I just mentioned I was just promoted to senior SDR. I haven't updated my LinkedIn yet, but I'll do that on Monday or something like that. But yeah, so I wanted just to kind of share the little knowledge that I know with the family. And if you guys have knowledge, please put it in the chat as well. I would love to hear it. And I would love to kind of get some feedback and hear from different people. But without further ado, Brother Scott, you are now live. Just go ahead and unmute yourself and let's have a conversation.
Peace and blessings, King. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well.
So my question is, do you use like Gong or something like that? Like as far as like your high performers, do you use like a service to go back and listen to like their conversations, or are you like just booking time on their calendar to sit down with them and like pick their brain and what I'm saying, get an idea of how they structure their day, their calls to be able to make sure that you're, I mean, catching up and performing high as well?
Yes, good question. So for those that don't know, Gong is a software that allows you to record meetings that you have in your company, and you're able to then go back and listen to those conversations. You could go back and listen to calls that other people have made, whether the SDR, BDRs, whoever, and you're able to then, excuse me, you're able to then kind of go and they even have a transcript, so you can actually see what's being said. And that's one way that you can learn indirectly with somebody that may be a high performer in your team. I've done that before a few times where I'm just like, man, this person is killing it. What are they doing? And I would listen to the conversation, go look at the transcript, and I'm like, I see. And so that's one way that you could indirectly learn. Now, one thing you said that I completely agree with is that you want to also set up time to go ahead and book times on their calendars with AEs. So so AEs, they can be busy, right? But if you have a connection with somebody, one thing I did when I first got in the organization was I saw an account executive that I'm like on LinkedIn that I was like, oh, this is like a person that's pretty cool. I reached out to him, I introduced myself, and we created a relationship, a mutually beneficial one where we stay in contact. We talk outside of work. Like like he's really cool, really cool peoples, and you want to definitely build that relationship. He gave me plenty of game stuff that I use that definitely helped me to book appointments. And so you definitely want to do that. Now, here's a third one that I want to include that you may not have thought of or use, but when you are working with an AE on an op, right? You can go ahead in a prep call. You could take time to talk with them, but right after your OV, just call them. And you got to debrief anyways. Just give them a call and say, hey, you could give them feedback. You ask some questions within that time, and take advantage of the opportunities. Like if the opportunity comes and it's an AE and they did a splendid job, let them know and ask them questions. Be like, man, you did a great job. What did you do? I just had an AE who did an amazing job this past week. And I had to let them know right afterwards, like, you killed it. Like, you killed it. And I heard what you did here. I heard what you did there. That's great. And so you want to use those multiple different ways. Again, setting up time, all these different ways. You want to use Gong, and of course, but if you could use those other methods as well, you definitely will reap a great benefit from it too. Hopefully that answers your question.
It does. Now, with that AE, did you establish that relationship prior to getting at the company, or was this afterwards? Was this like in your like initial like outreach to different people to try to get into the company, or did you form this relationship? You know what I'm saying? Whenever you got locked in.
That's a good question too. I formed that relationship when I got into the company, but I do not discourage you from trying to form that relationship even prior, because that's going to help you. You're going to have a champion within the company. maybe someone that you can refer to the company as that can refer you, excuse me, to the company as well. So if you can start developing that relationship now, that'll be a great thing to do.
Solid.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, family.
You too, Scott. Anybody else want to call in? Definitely feel free to call in. The link is there. I'm going to put it here again. Call in link right there. I think I have to pin that if I didn't pin it already. But yeah, definitely check that out so that you could call in and you know, go ahead and we can have anything. We can have any questions there. But if you're free to, in your free time, go back and listen to your good calls and the calls of your top teammates. Really good early on. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And Paris, like, now those are some cheat codes. Thank you, Paris. I appreciate that. I have more. I have more in my arsenal that I could share. Um, Let me talk about cold calling because honestly, that's where I feel the strongest. So while I wait for more questions, um, cold calling for me, there's a lot of different methods to cold calling. Actually, Scott, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Let's do a live cold call.
Okay.
You're gonna act like who you are at your practice, and you're
Okay.
nephrology, right? You're nephrology.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna be who I am in my practice in SDR, trying to set you up for a call, and we're just gonna do
Okay.
a role play, and I'm gonna break it down afterwards. Okay.
That works.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hello, this is Scott with AYC Nephrology. How you doing?
Hey Scott, how you doing, man? I ain't gonna lie, I'm waking up. I'm tired. I think I have a toddler and they kept me up all last night. I don't know if you have any children. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I have a stepdaughter.
Okay, so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So, where are my manners? My name is Joseph. I'm actually calling from beep at calling on a recorded line just for training purposes. I'm actually looking for the person that's in charge of the PM and EMR system. Do you happen to know who that person may be?
I'm the office manager. I have some dealings with that.
Oh, you're the office manager? Okay, great. Well, I just been calling different nephrology groups in the area, just trying to get a sense of everything that's going on right now. Are you part of the KCC program, or do you guys have any information about that, or have you heard about the KCC program?
No, with our company, we do a lot of stuff in house. We have a EMR that we're rebuilding from the ground up. So that's kind of the state that we're in right now.
Oh, okay. So you have a wait a second. You have a 'cause I never heard that before. You're actually building one from the ground up, so you don't have anything like eClinical Works or Athena or anything like that. You're building one from the ground up. Is that true?
Well, the one we have is Touch Chart and or All Scripts, and
Oh yeah.
so it's an older version. And so
Okay.
instead of we've looked at Epic and we've looked at a couple of different ones, but decided just to stay with what we have and then just revamp the whole thing from the ground up. We're working with All Scripts to just build a completely brand new version of what we already have.
Okay. So are you currently have like paper and pen for your clients to come in currently for the
No,
patients?
we're already on the EMR. Like I said, we're just redoing everything, just redoing the whole system. It's a
Okay.
little outdated. It's like 7 years outdated. So
I got you. So in regards to the patient intake and patient check-in, what does that process look like?
so the patient comes in, they meet with the front desk personnel. If it's a new patient, then they have forms they fill out. If it's an established patient, then just checking their their insurance, making sure that everything is still current, make sure they haven't got any new insurance cards or new policy changes. They scan it in, and then they let the nurses in the back know when the patients are ready. If it's a new patient, they have their forms they fill out. Same thing, take their picture ID, their insurance cards, make sure that they're scanning everything into the system, making copies of everything, getting
Mhm.
copays, all that good stuff, and then letting the nurses know when the patients are ready.
Okay, so there's a lot that happens up front. How long does that process take per patient though?
Mm, Newer patients are a little bit longer because those forms. Established patients usually not that long, maybe 5 minutes. So if that, being it's not a lot of, just like I said, basically just verifying who they are and just making sure that the insurance hasn't changed. So not long at all. Newer patients, you're looking at probably maybe 10 minutes, maybe.
10 minutes. Okay. But what I'm hearing is that even if it takes 10, maybe 15 minutes per patient for the new ones, and let's say 5, the insurance verification part, that might take a little bit of time, right?
It can, yeah.
It can.
If it's because usually our system does a check the night before, and so really it's just going in just to see if it came back active. If it came back, mixed or something else, then of course they rerun it. We usually rerun everybody, but usually if it's already come back active, it can usually turn over pretty quickly. If it's come back where it's mixed or there are some problems with it, yeah, that can cause a hang up sometimes.
Gotcha. And I'm assuming your referral process is similar in regards to having a personnel run it, right? Or am I wrong? Is there
Hmm.
how the
So you're
referral
right.
process?
Yeah, they come in from whether it be from primary care or another specialist. Comes in through the electronic fax or the e-fax, and then once that comes in, the personnel will look at it, show it to the doctor, because the doctors like to our doctors like to see what's coming in, because a lot of times, which since you're in the space, a lot of times primaries can send people to specialists that don't really need to be seen by specialists.
Mm,
So the doctors like to look at it to make sure it actually needs to be referred to us, or if it's just something, maybe they're taking some NSAIDs and it's got their kidneys elevated too much or not enough hydration. So once the doctors look at it and say, yeah, that really does need to be seen, then we'll get them scheduled with one of our providers, and we usually try to get them in within 2 weeks.
okay. And last question before we go. Well, second to last question. How many other services besides Allscripts are you using? Because you got a lot of things going on. Are you using multiple different vendors?
Not really a whole bunch. Like I said, with our company, everything is really internalized. They keep a lot of stuff in house. Like it's one huge building with multiple different practices, whether it be primary care, us, hematology, oncology. So we have everything usually in one building. As far as X-rays and stuff like that, we have a radiology department downstairs that we can send
Hmm.
patients to. So if we need something like that, that we can just send them downstairs. So a lot of stuff is kind of centralized right there in our one building. It's a huge building, so we got to keep everything here.
Yeah. So it sounds like even though you have technology, you're really leaning more on manpower. Is that wouldn't you say that's the case right
Yeah.
now? Yeah, so I hear that a lot from different practices, whether it's oncology, whether it's otolaryngology, or whether it's even nephrology groups like yourself. What we do at Frisia, we basically work with 120 million patients worldwide for the past 18 plus years. 1 out of 10 patients actually check in with Frisia currently, if you believe it or not. And especially when it comes to nephrology groups, uh, we have seen great works and strides with them. In fact, what we do is vendor consolidation for you, patient intake, insurance verification, and eligibility. All those different services are under one roof that actually would work with along with all scripts, minimizing the time and effort that it takes for your staff to intervene in these areas, and by doing so, increase revenue by 50%. Now, I know that I caught you out the blue, and thank you for taking the time to even speak with me. My whole goal was to see if you had about 15 or 20 minutes so we could discuss this further. Are you available for any time? Let's see, today is what, Saturday. Are you available Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of next week?
Mm, let me look, because next week is pretty busy. I got a lot of meetings coming up next week with
Yeah, you're
staff
an office
members.
manager. I totally get it. You're an office
Uh,
manager. You got a lot.
Next week's, well, I'll say next week's not really a good time for me. I might be able to. Uh, Actually, that would be
When are you typically
that.
available though? Is that mornings or afternoons typically work better for you?
it just kind of depends. Really, my day is so sporadic. It's kind of hard to say. Some days mornings are easy. I get some cancellations. Other days evenings are good. Actually, I think on Tuesday, this review is not going to take long. I can probably do Tuesday um, around 1. I think I can probably knock out this employee review fairly quickly. We can probably do Tuesday at 1.
Tuesday at 1 p.m. That does sound good as well. I'm going to be bringing a senior member of my team that will be joining us for the conversation, answering questions that you have. Make sure that you're good. If Tuesday at 1 p.m. does not work for my team, is there another day and time that works for you? Whether Thursday,
Uh,
Friday?
it's probably going to have to be the week after, or maybe the week after that. We've got some big meetings coming up with like C-suite, so it's going to be a pretty
Oh,
crazy week. So it's probably going to have to be something after, like within the next 2 weeks. Hold on, let me see if I can. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to look through this calendar here and
you don't
see
gotta say
what I've
sorry to
got
me.
going
I understand how busy
on.
y'all are, so y'all you don't say sorry to me at all.
If we can't do then I would say probably the 25th at
25th,
yeah, probably the 25th at
same time.
no, probably 11 o'clock.
25th at 11. Okay. So I'm going to send you a calendar invite for, again, this Tuesday at 1 p.m. Just look at that for me. I just want to verify your email address. Da, 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 da. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm sorry, what'd you say your name was again?
Joe or Joseph. If it's Jane and it's biblical, I'll
Okay.
take it.
Okay. All right, that works. And you said the company is called Visa?
Yeah, don't worry. It's like a flower. Yeah.
Uh,
Preesia. Yeah, you can definitely look us up. We've been
okay.
doing the best in
Okay.
class for 4 years running, 18 plus years in the business. We've been in this for a while.
Okay.
So yeah. All right, but you're all set. I'm going to send that invite to you. Thank you so much. I'm also going to send you some material to talk a little bit more about the KCC program if you're interested in learning about that. Since you are in nephrology, it's going to affect you in the future. Definitely check out that information in the news. But thank you so much. You have a great day, Scott. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. All right, Joseph. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott, for being a willing participant in how I would do a cold call. So let me break that
Thank
down
you,
for
bro.
everybody who's kind of like, okay, what just happened? So that was a cold call that I would normally have with the office manager. When I come in there, I know that they've been talking to they're extremely busy people. Extremely busy people. Practice managers, office managers. These people are extremely busy, right? So no matter who you're calling as a prospect, you're interrupting their day, quite frankly. Um, you're interrupting their day. So I have to understand that you're going to be doing that regardless. When I get on the phone, I'm calling office manager. I'm going to try to bring humor. I'm going to try to be myself, my personality, be light in that conversation. So I might say something that's honest and real, but I'll try to make a joke out of it. Like, man, I'm tired. My kids have kept me up all night. You have kids too? And they might even say, no, they don't have kids. They have a niece or nephew, or they may say, yes, the same thing happened to me tonight. Boom. First thing, that's the first thing, right? Then after that, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I am lost because I don't know if Scott is the person I'm going to speak to, so I'm not lying. This is a technique from Kevin Dorsey called "Lost in the City." Man, I'm lost. I'm trying to find this person that's responsible for X, Y, and Z. I'm giving y'all some game today. I should have charged for this. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna charge for this. I'm playing, but like, yeah, I'm lost in the city. I don't know where I'm going. I'm trying to find this particular person, right? And then once Scott confirms that he is the person I need to talk to, then I'm like, okay, great. I heard your nephrology. I was asking about the KCC program, which is a national program that basically kind of that for Medicare and Medicaid, they kind of have to uh, do certain things to qualify that if there are nephrology, right? I used to work in nephrology. I don't work in nephrology anymore, but I remember that knowledge. So I was basically kind of finding a pain point for them there. And then after that, I'm talking about finding out a little bit more about their processes, all about being curious and understanding their process and the discovery and trying to figure this thing out. Now, by doing that, you kind of can see, okay, what areas they need help in. they have everything under one PM and EMR system, which is a patient management or electronic medical records, right? They have it all under a particular PM and EMR system. However, their people are still doing a lot of the manual work. And now I'm like, okay, that's it right there. I want to be able to get enough discovery so I can provide that back to my account executive, but I don't want to necessarily give too much on that call where now the prospect's asking questions that really should be from when they have the overview with the client with the account executive, or even more when they're supposed to be speaking to subject matter experts. So you want to be able to ask these questions. You want to provide some value props. Oh yeah, we're free. We're this. I won't say my company's name, but my company 18 years in the business, 120 million patients served. We check in 1 to 10 people, 1 in 10 patients in the United States currently. And by doing that, we actually, by vendor consolidation, we have seen increase of revenue, which is true, by up to 50% for these practices. Practices since the pandemic, and even before that, but really since the pandemic, they are in need of profit, right? And so if we could help these practices increase and be more efficient, then they could help. So boom, when you hit that value prop, now it's like, okay, this is legit. And then I like to remind them that I'm interrupting their day because, like Scott said, I don't got a lot of time. So I remind them, I'm sorry, I interrupted your day. I know you don't have a lot of time right now. Let's just get some time on the books. Let's get about 15 to 20 minutes. Or sometimes I even say 14 to 21 minutes because I throw like, wait, 14 to 21. But it makes them think like, okay, this is not gonna be long, it's not gonna be quick, but it could be beneficial to my practice. Let me do my due diligence. And this is what I learned from solar sales. I don't ask them what time you're available. I give them options. Uh, I'm sorry, you just said that this is not a good time. Are you available? Today's Saturday. Are you available Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday? So they don't have to really think about it. Give people options and choices so they don't have to think too hard about it. Oh, I'm good for I'm good for Tuesday. Oh, in the morning or the afternoon? I'm good for 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, cool. Go to 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and and always verify the information. Even if you have it in Salesforce, even if you think it's good, verify because things could change. Companies could change names and all sorts of things, and the email could be wrong that you have. I see that I have this email. Is this email correct? Boom. Then you want to make sure that you are adding value to that overview. I'm gonna have a senior member of my team join this overview. He's great at what they do. Get another date and time in case that, and this happened to me so many times. I'm like, it's one of the banes of my existence where I don't get another date and time, and then my account executive can't make it, and I have to call the prospect back and say, I apologize, we can't do that. So get another date and time to the best of your ability, and again, remind them and thank them for their time, and that's one thing I do. There's other different methods you can do depending on what the prospect provides you. Scott, you were great, by the way. You provide me a lot of discovery, and I love it. If your practice is ever interested in looking at Frisia, let me know. But besides that, but yeah, that's how I would normally do a cold call in regards to just kind of flowing like that, using what the prospects gives me. Sometimes asking a gap question is great, where it's like, well, you just said X, Y, and Z. If there was a product that could provide solution to X, Y, and Z, how would that affect your bottom line? How would that affect your workflow? How would that change things within your company? And then they'll be like, I guess it might change a few things. Like you said, you're busy. And I'm sorry for interrupting your time. When do you have time available? Boom. Anyway, that was fun, Scott. I love cold calling. I'm not gonna lie. It's fun. Especially
Yeah, it was good.
when I get the
It
right
was
people.
cool.
Yeah. The cold calling is fun for me, but it could be challenging for other people. And sometimes having a framework in advance and practicing that framework will allow you to be able to really shine and really be good. Kevin Dorsey, and I'm going to quote him again because he's just a great sales trainer. He said the best practice, the rest practice on prospects. I'm going to say it again. And we're going to wrap it up here unless somebody has some questions. But the best practice, the rest practice on prospects. What does that mean? The best take the information, they go into the shed, they may even reach out to another coworker themselves, and they practice with that coworker. The rest of the people would take that information, go on the phones, and say, I learned this thing called gap. So let me try it out here. So if you could do and they blunder or they mess up, or they might get through it, but it won't be as concrete or secure. So I'm going to take time to go to the conversation. Thank you again, Scott. I honestly, I don't think I could have done that with anybody else. It might have been a little bit more easier without having somebody you actually work with PM and EMR systems. This is your bread and butter.
Yeah.
So you were able to kind of
I noticed I noticed you didn't go through a whole bunch of features either. You didn't come. I noticed that too. Like you didn't start out like, oh yeah, this is my company and we do this. Like you kept it real player and real simple. Like okay, yeah, so that was a good eye opener because that's like kind of something I thought about too. Like all right, if I get in this, do I like just come out the gate like yeah, we do this, we do that, we do this. So that's good to know. Like you don't like just at the gate just hit them with a whole bunch of like features and different things like that. So that was a good learning experience for me. I appreciate it, big bro.
Thank you, man. Lead with value, not feature pitching. It's two different things. Oh boy, I need to stop. I need to stop. I need to do something separate right now because I'm feeling myself going. I'll
Yeah,
take
my
this.
bad.
No, this is good.
My
This is good.
bad.
But you do not want to feature pitch. Feature pitching, like we do this, we do that. Great. What does that mean? But if you could talk about the value, and I didn't even get into other value props that I could have gotten to because you kind of touched it. I don't want to use it. I was gonna say we're gonna save you 5 minutes per patient, which is true, but you already said you already do 5 minutes per patient, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? Even though we can save him some time there, I don't want to really force that because it wouldn't have been as effective unless I talk about the revenue side increasing by 50%. Now, what practices want to increase their revenue by 50%, and that's the average. That catches the eye, right? All right, let me pause here. Let me go to the comment section because I appreciate it, man. Mitch said this is dope. I love cold calling. Wow, what was so beneficial. Thank you both. Yeah, Scott, man, you did a great job. I gotta say that again. Lost in the City, yes. And there's other methods that Kevin Dorsey endorses as well and teaches. So I just that's one of my favorite ones, Lost in the City. Congrats. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And then Joe, I'm thinking about it. After today, I'm thinking about it. I mean, there's so much I could learn. I have not arrived. It's just that those years, I'm gonna say this again, the years when I was doing solar sales, that really set me up for this because a lot of those different methods I used without realizing what they were called, and CourseCareers, and also Kevin Dorsey's program Leveled. He talks about it as well, I believe. Those. In fact, Kevin Dorsey did a training at my company, and he taught that to us about Lost in the City and stuff. So that's the same teacher for Leveled Careers, y'all. So if you weren't interested in Leveled Careers, check out my link below because he's the same account executive course director for Leveled. He's going to these major companies and he's teaching them about sales. So we don't have any scrubs as teachers in Leveled Careers or even in CourseCareers. So definitely check that out. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that, Trey. Great stuff. I thank you so much. Appreciate that, Mitch. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for that. This was great. That was a realistic sounding call. Peep game on how he let the prospect do most of the talking. That's right. And you know what's so funny that you said that? When he was trying to find his time, notice what I did. For the most part, I was silent. Silence is so golden in cold calling, especially if you have a gap question or any question. It's so easy for us to want to talk. But if you could say, what if you had a solution that could allow you to increase revenue by 50%? Let them think. Let them think about what you just said. Be quiet. Because then they're really going to start thinking about it. And then they're really going to say, you know what? It's worth a try. I remember there's a call that I did where I had so much silence in it. And we are doing a listening session because we do listening sessions with different SDR teams. And one of the managers said, the silence. And she had like a tears icon. And I felt very proud in that moment. But thank you for making that call out. If you have a live updated calendar of the AEs, you can have it up and give them options based on what's available. Yes. Every company is different, so we get our AEs assigned to us after we book. So we don't really know who the AE is unless you work with a specialty that already has one AE designated to it. So when I worked in nephrology, there was only one AE to that, so it was easy. I was like on the calendar was right there. I was like, so we have availability on X, Y, and Z day. I felt so good. I loved it, but because of the way every organization is different. But in our organization, the AE is assigned after the call is booked. So yeah, have conversations on the phone. Yeah, have conversations. That's a good point, Trey. When you're talking to people, and the one thing I learned, and I have to get better at this, is that I need to I need to make sure that I'm not asking questions just to ask questions, because it could get that way. But you want to be able to listen actively, ask questions like, "Hey, what do you do?" Like that would have been a great question for me to ask Scott. You're an office manager. Hey, what does your day to day look like? Because every practice is a little bit different, and to find those nuances can really kind of humanize the situation, build rapport. So that's a great thing. You want to definitely have conversations. All these goals. Oh, thank you, Kimberly. I don't consider myself a goat at all, but thank you so much for saying that. All these goes in the same live. Awesome. Follow, get inspiration from all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I definitely appreciate that. Good stuff, man. Thanks. Thank you, Caleb. I thank you for saying that, Caleb. I really just want to be the person that found a pond of fish and say, "Hey, y'all, there's some fish over here." Trey, I think you like fishing too. Maybe I'm wrong. I think you said you like fishing, but hey, y'all, there's some fish over here, and just kind of have it that way. But this was good. This was good. So I'm
Hey
glad.
Joe.
Yes, sir.
Hey Joe. So I got Kanika with the gym assassin. I'm coining you the cold call.
Cold call Kanika.
No, I said I'm coining you. So I called Kanika the gym assassin. You are now coined the cold call colonel.
Colonel
Yeah,
Colonel Cold Call.
man.
I feel privileged to say that, but I'm getting there. There are people out there that I can't touch when it comes to this. There's some people that are really cold when it comes to cold
Yeah, but
calling.
for me, you the colonel for me. So I appreciate you running me through this. This is and a great learning experience, man. Thank you.
No, absolutely. And you know what? For those that are on the fringe of wondering if they can be an SDR, that's what an SDR does. An SDR makes these cold calls, books appointments, and you set it up for your AE, and you try to do your best by getting some discovery in there. It's different for each organization. So that discovery I did was good, but we're going to do discovery later on with the AE anyway. But for other organizations, you have to get that discovery as much as you can and bring it to your AE. So so that's the nature of the game. If you feel like you can do that and be an SDR and you're on the fringe, go ahead and sign up with Course Careers. The link is in the description below. The reason why I plug Course Careers a lot is because it changed my life. And I'm going to say this sincerely, would not try to cry right now, but it sincerely changed my life. It made me realize that there's an industry where my skills that I developed can be valued in such a way that it could help provide for my family in such a way, and not just provide financially, but provide time. I'm going to say that again, not just financially, but provide time. I've been in a way being able to use more time to help my family while I'm working than I ever have in my life. So depending on the organization you're with, and not every tech company is the same, but for the tech company that I work with, and for other people that I have met and worked with, really good tech companies, the ability to leverage your money and time has been a game changer. It has been a game changer. There's been times where I have to be able to take the kids to the park, come back to work, no problem. Go shopping because we needed something, come back to work. Nobody's hounding you. Nobody's that you just do your work. You do for work, and being able to do that has truly changed the game for me. The times that I've been sick, There's times where you're like, when you get sick, you worry, oh my, how many sick days you have. When you're sick, you're sick. You got to go home or you got to log off. Like my manager says this all the time. She's like, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. If you have to go because you're, and I had to take my child to the dentist one time, I asked her to leave early. Like, of course. Thank you for letting me know, but of course, go and take care of your family. Again, I'm not gonna get emotional about that, but as a man, as a husband, and as a father, that means a lot to me. I have not felt as valued in a career as I have since working in tech. And I'm saying this right now. I know this is kind of a little bit more of a somber note, but if you are seriously on the fringe and thinking about, man, I, I just heard that cold call from Joseph. I think with some training and fine, I could do that, but you haven't done course careers yet, or you have some sales background, but you don't really have tech sales background, and you haven't done leveled yet. Or if you're thinking about being a sales engineer, software developer, customer success, being in HR, and you haven't made that move yet, I would encourage you to make that decision now. Course Careers is in the link below. Level Careers is in the link below. If you feel like you need a more tactile, like Scott and I, we talked about this, a more tactile learning, and you need to be with a group of people. That's why I promote Learnful as well, because Learnful, unlike the others, nothing wrong with what the others level of course career provides, but Learnful provides a group of people that will walk with you, people that are principals in their companies, like big people, like these are people that are taking time to invest in you. They're selective, and it's going to be time that they're taking away from their families to be with you and to do this. That's why it's a little bit more than, that's why it's I mean, not a little bit more, but that's why it's more than level careers or course careers. However, they are making impact. I talked to their graduates, and their graduates like, it's one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. So that's why I promote the specific ones that I do. I don't promote everything. I definitely don't promote everything. But for the ones I promoted, I either vetted them myself. I had people that have gone through it. I had family members, I have friends that have gone to the IT program and landed jobs, family members that are going through the other courses as well. Make the decision for yourself and for the other ones you love. If this is something you feel like you really should do, please don't hold back, y'all. Please make that decision. Anyway, I feel emotional. I mean, what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But thank y'all for tuning in with me and rocking with me. This was more of a I'm glad I was able to do this and kind of talk about this. But man, I love y'all. Go ahead and like if you have not liked. If you feel like you want to like, go ahead and like this live. Go ahead and share it with others if you feel like it was good. Like, comment, subscribe. All the YouTube stuff, right? And if you are a podcast listener, like I said before, it is on the podcast. Excuse me. Next week, we're going to have Kanika come back. Kanika Tulper's coming back next week. Joins Trey and I this Monday on Talk Back Tech, the morning show. We're going to have a lot of fun. For sure, like we always do. But I want to say thank you, anybody. Let me go to the comment section before I go. I want to make sure I acknowledge everybody. Y'all have been so good, and I appreciate every single one of you. Where we at? I'm trying to go back to the comment. Oh, a lot of comments came through, so I lost my place. If you all have the comment phone, so give me 1 second, y'all. I'm just trying to find where the comments ended. Okay, Trey was like, yeah, fishing is good. We gotta go fishing together, Trey. When I come down to you, tech job, Tina, peace, blessings. Oh yeah, you guys are that's awesome. You guys, I love that the guys you all have camaraderie with each other. That's deep. Be kind to yourself. Oh yeah, when I heard that, I kind of want to have a little tear on the side here, especially as a black man. You don't really think of being kind to yourself. So when she said that, I was like, man, I should be kind to myself. That's it. Yeah, man. No, this is good. Facts. Scott said, you're a real one, bro. Always have been. Thank you, man. I try. I really do try. And then Scott mentioned we here. Yes, man. Peace and blessings, y'all. I love that y'all guys are just like going at each other, like talking to each other. Yo, Kimberly, I'm 34% done with course careers. Getting there. Yes, Kimberly, keep it going. If you need to reach out to me on LinkedIn, Kimberly. My link is in the description below, my link to LinkedIn. So reach out to me and I could definitely try to see how I can help you get where you need to go. For sure, for sure. And then Kimberly says thank you. And with that note, I want to say thank you, everybody. Like I see below, podcast available, right? Available, Apple, Spotify, etc. Until next time, family, I hope to see y'all on the other side. Take care. Love y'all.